and I never understood it because I was trying to analyze the symptom and not the problem. Hi guys, welcome to the video. You're gonna have to excuse my voice today. I've been sick and I've lost it and it's still sort of coming back, so you're just gonna have to roll with it. Today I want to talk about, is it a problem or is it a symptom of the problem? Often when we're going through a hard time and we have negative patterns coming back up again, we try really hard to understand where they're coming from. We analyze them and we look for a root cause. But sometimes you'll find no matter how hard you try, you just can't understand it. You just can't figure out where it's coming from. Then you might start to think it's something innately wrong with you, that this is just who you are. I guarantee you this is not the case, but the reason that it keeps coming up again and again and again is because it's always a symptom of a deeper root issue. This could look like anything. So this could be unhealthy substance use, it could be negative self-esteem, negative self-talk, self-sabotage, isolation, anything that is a pattern that keeps coming up for you again and again and again that you know is bad for you, that you know is negative, but for some reason you just can't shake it. Often these responses, or symptoms as I want to call them in this video, are patterns for you because this is the way that you have coped throughout your life. So things such as self-isolation might feel like safety, negative self-esteem might feel like control, unhealthy substance use might look like numbing out, something deeper. But if you just look at these symptoms, you're never going to understand what's causing them and you'll be stuck in the same loop. Maybe it gets better. Maybe you find that they go away after a bit, but they're going to come up again because they do, and it's the cycle. And you don't want to be stuck reliving the cycle your whole life. So what I want you to do instead is to look at when these negative patterns are coming up and start to notice the bigger picture around them. This is why it really helps to journal, because what journaling does is it gives you a timeline to look back on, so you can see, here's where that pattern came up for me again, and here's what was going on in my life at the time. Then you can compare it to other times the pattern came up, and likewise times the pattern went away again, and you can start to understand what has actually been triggering it. An example is, I know now for myself that when I do not feel I have a sense of security, I try to look for security in self-control. So this manifests in negative self-talk. It leads me back to disordered eating, trying to control my body, trying to control my appearance, because that's the way I'm deriving a sense of control when I'm placed into a situation where I feel like I don't have control. Now if we look at that, I could spend, and I have spent years asking myself, why does this negative self-talk come up? Why do I suddenly do this at certain points in my life and then it just goes away at other points? And I never understood it because I was trying to analyze the symptom and not the problem. But now that I've taken this approach that I'm talking about in this video and I've analyzed the bigger picture, I suddenly realized that it pops up for me again and again and again when I am feeling insecure on a deeper level in my life. So it's usually something is destabilizing me and making me feel unsafe and insecure, be that physically, be that emotionally, and suddenly these behaviors pop up to try and compensate and create a sense of control again, a sense of security, predictability, and safety. This helps me to realize that these symptoms are actually my brain and my body's way of trying to cope, of trying to keep me safe. Now that I understand that, I'm not frustrated with myself anymore. I'm not blaming myself anymore. Instead, I'm looking at how I can shift into healthier patterns that will serve the same need to cope with certain things, such as a feeling of insecurity. This leads to the harmony of working with yourself rather than working against yourself. That is the kind of harmony that you need to start seeing the patterns shift, to start seeing the negative patterns go and the positive ones start to come in. It will never work to just take a symptom and tell yourself to just stop, because that's your brain trying to keep you safe. And if your brain doesn't have an alternative to keep you safe, of course it's going to keep defaulting on the one that it knows. So you have to give yourself some grace, some kindness, and some understanding when you work through these symptoms. But once you can look at things and start to ask yourself, is this a problem in and of itself, or is this a symptom of the problem? That's when you start to be effective in your own self-work. And that's why it's so important to make this distinction. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this was helpful. Check out some of my other videos for more information on self-growth and self-development, and subscribe. I hope you have an absolutely beautiful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!